I was hesitant about going over this because I feel like we've been on a big drama arc on the stream lately, and I do occasionally talk about politics that are actually relevant to the lives of working people. But then I remembered that I don't care, and I'll talk about what I want. So, for those of you who don't know, there's a person called ThoughtSlime on YouTube. I don't like them; they don't like me. That's really immaterial to what we're talking about. I've always held, even in my darkest moments, I've always held that it's okay to like content creators who dislike me. You guys remember? I've always said that. Even back during the ThoughtSlime stream, I said like you can watch them if you want. I've always said that, But eventually, like the bad behavior ramps up enough. So basically, like I don't remember much of the details on this. Xanderhal put out a big old video called Twitter Turns on ThoughtSlime for Lying About Me, open parentheses, sex cult drama revisited, close parentheses, which is a hell of a title. Really grabs the interest there, doesn't it? And, I don't know all of the details on this particular bit. Here's the gist as I understand it, okay? I think at some point, like 2 years ago or whatever, Xanderhal had like a little Discord server with some flirty dames or something. But then there was like a dame who didn't like him too much, and then like there was some beef between them, and then some people who really didn't like Xanderhal were like, Xander's running a sex cult. But I think it was just like a server where people were horny. Like I don't know. Like okay, whatever. Um, After the smoke cleared, I'm pretty sure there was no evidence that Xan did like anything wrong at all, apart from like some people were crazy, I guess. But like that's life. I don't know. I don't think Xan did like anything like morally objectionable, apart from being in the presence of social situations that ended up going poorly or whatever. But anyway, there was this whole rumor mill about Xan running a sex cult, for a while. And as somebody who has been the victim of ridiculous, hyperbolic, false allegations, before, really sympathize with Xan on this. But weirdly, one of the people who like jumped on these attacks the most was ThoughtSlime. Like a lot. Like here, hold on. I think this little video clip here has the necessary tweets, which we're gonna play muted because the thing specifically says not to play it on stream because DMCA. Okay, here we go. So ThoughtSlime in Discord saying, I think, and this is me personally speaking here, you should not have a sex cult. Xanderhal slash Pig Puncher, dead naming, has a sex cult. Very nice. Very good. Keep going. We have editing here that we're kind of skipping over, but that's the tragedy of DMCA work here. Okay. Fuck this. He, that's Xan, deserves to be hit hard. I'm not beating around the bush here, and I'm not going to be polite and restrained in calling out abuse like this. We don't need to treat this guy with kid gloves. And trust me, he won't return the favor. This is more, by the way, this is more advocacy directly for harassment than anything I've ever done in my entire career. So we're opening out the gate with that. We have that. I will not accept equivocation of my poor phrasing when calling out abuse and the abuse itself. There's a massive gap in severity between our respective poor judgments. It goes on and on. Basically, like, further context, ThoughtSlime was a significantly bigger creator than Xan at the time. I mean, I think ThoughtSlime still is. Basically, ThoughtSlime accused pretty, like, fastidiously Xan of having a sex cult, and now it's like 2 years later, and ThoughtSlime still won't admit that they were wrong. Not just wrong, but that they, like, hammed on it and were wrong, and like, maliciously wrong, you know? And recently, ThoughtSlime... Yeah, Xan was like 19 when this happened or whatever. But recently, ThoughtSlime had a collection of tweets. It's actually really, really funny. And I don't like ThoughtSlime, so it's funny for me because, I just like it when people I don't like are unhappy. That's one of my axioms. But here, if I scroll through the TL, you guys know how it works. I don't know, did ThoughtSlime delete those recent tweets? It would be super unfortunate if they did. Like an absolute coward. Did they? Oh, they did? Oh, they did? Oh my god. Absolute coward. Oh my god. Okay. Basically, like they just tweeted like randomly, like, why do people keep bothering me about the fact that I lied about Xanderhal? And now all their tweets are no replies, or like you have to be followed to reply or whatever, you know. They're in Zan's newest video. Yeah, you can watch Zan's newest videos. Yeah, oh my god, cool. Another content creator went over this. Oh my god, the person who was subject of this drama has a video where they discuss the drama, and I'm just briefly supervising it to give you guys an in on it so you can check the video on his channel. That's crazy, dude. Thank you for informing me. Um, yeah, this is an earlier tweet. I wish these had like the dates right next to them. Also, it's not hyperbole to say having a group of women who are sexually devoted to you. They're like making Xan sound so much cooler than they are. While you are not to them and starting plans to live in a shared space, a sex cult. That's not me being glib. That's called a spade a spade. I don't know what this is referring to. I guess like Xan wanted to fuck some people. I guess that's cool. Like having sex. You know? Oh yeah, responding to Corviday as well. Corviday is the biggest crybaby on all of Twitter. Yeah, anyway, basically, like, this is part of a long-running theme where the people who complain about abuse on the left are themselves the most abusive people. ThoughtSlime has been losing subs and followers and viewers and whatever else, and here are all the people like dunking on ThoughtSlime or whatever, but like, yeah, it's pretty goddamn bad. It's pretty goddamn cringe, you know? I don't know, man. Alright, nice memes. The Xan revolution is upon us. Go follow Xan, okay? So I guess what I'm saying is that now we get to be as mean as we want to ThoughtSlime because ThoughtSlime is like maliciously lying about people, including me. And it doesn't matter anymore. So here's the truth, all right? Are you guys ready for it? ThoughtSlime's videos have always been surface level. They talk like a pedophile trying to encourage children to get into their van. Their jokes are played out and have been for multiple years. And I just don't like the name Mildred. I just don't. I'm sorry. I'm bigoted against that name specifically. Not against chosen names, not against anything else, just specifically against that name. There you go. What are their pronouns? I think it's any all. I just say there. It's any all, right? What about Mordred? Mordred's a cool name. I don't know if I've ever heard that name, but, you know. Excuse me. Don't forget the fact they apologized to people they called nanners and lunacy. The weird thing about, like, the abusive woke scold archetype is that these will people who will flagellate themselves for saying, like, crazy in reference to, like, a sick skateboard flip trick because it's ableist, but then they'll dedicate 6 months of their life to harassing and spreading lies about a person in an effort to get them to commit suicide. There's a really weird, like, dissonance there. The problem is you have to be really, really, like, suspicious of people who are always the victim and who weaponize this ooh-woo soft boy shit to, like, always come off as the more fragile person. You know what I mean? Like, I do feel like I'm subject to a ton of harassment all the time, but I'm never the victim. I'm always winning. I can't lose. Never lost anything. Never lost a goddamn debate. Never lost my virginity. I never lose. Okay? I don't play up like the like victimhood, like vulnerability shit for the for the purposes of getting people like on my side, you know? Like play up the sympathy or whatever. Yeah, never lost no nut November. Yeah, never ever. I won my virginity. That's right. You lost sleep. Ha ha ha, maybe. Yeah. The clip of that apology is very funny with the context of now.
Gently. Few people took issue with it, and they let me know, gently, that what I had done was hurtful and beneath me. And I did what YouTubers are supposed to do in that situation. I followed protocol. I got really defensive, like a baby that had both pooped and peed itself, that kind of baby, insulted everyone who spoke up, and threw a temper tantrum. I was about halfway through writing an op-ed for Reason.com titled, "Why I'm Leaving the Left, the Hounding of SJW Woke Scolds," when I thought, you know what, I'm gonna ask my fiance what she thinks, and she'll tell me I'm right, because I'm always right, and the only feedback I should be allowed to get is constant praise. So she watched it, and she said to me, well, Matt, you know, one problem with this video...
Okay, man, you can get so many red flags just off this video. How many farts do you have to sniff to say, hey, I made a mistake, you know? hey, I made a mistake about something. Let me dedicate 2 minutes to hyper exaggerating my, my lack of self-reflection so that I can really, really play up, how much of an obstacle I had to overcome to arrive eventually at the position that I think now is right. This is one of the reasons why you guys don't see me like hyper fucking fixate on apologies if I ever make a mistake, because I think that shit is really performative. If you make a mistake, like, just say it, be forthcoming. That's it. Doing this gigantic like song and dance about it like is really weird. I don't know.
Is that you did fuck up, and one thing about the criticism you're getting is that they kind of have a point, and suddenly the cognitive dissonance was broken. And it became obvious to me, like it had been obvious to everyone else before me, that I was doing that thing, that thing where you know you're wrong, so you try and just be wrong harder at the people trying to talk sense to you, to double down and double down until you're comfortably beneath the Earth's crust and nobody can force you back up to the surface to confront the painful reality that you've hurt people. So I swallowed my pride and I said I was sorry. I took down the video, reached out to a few of the people I'd been particularly shitty to, and apologized to them personally. It hurt to do. It was hard. I don't tell you that to make you feel sorry for me. It should be hard. Growth is hard. And this is...
Remember what I just said? Like, you really play it up. Like, make sure your personal growth is this gigantic performative puppet show that everyone has to pay attention to.
my job. People pay me thousands of dollars a month, and that means it doesn't always get to be easy. I'm not entitled.
Oh. Like, the thing is, there's nothing wrong with being explicit about the process of changing your mind or growing or whatever else, But, like, I don't know. It just gives me narcissist vibes. You know how there are people who will do obviously fucked up things to you just so they can apologize really loudly about it? Like, you guys know what I'm talking about, right? Like, it's like, you'll have that friend who will do something obviously cunty, or obviously wrong, or whatever. Like, just, it's clearly wrong. And then, like you point it out to them, and they just spend, like, 2 weeks compensating for it in the most over the top. You know what I mean? Like, these people, they go, like, these cycles or whatever. You know what I mean? I do not have friends like this. I'm trying to give an example of a type of behavior that you might have noticed, not necessarily a person currently in your friend group, okay? Can you see past the semantics? Jesus. I think it's a type of person. I don't know if it's like some narcissist thing where they're constantly trying to farm appreciation for, like, their bad behavior, but yeah, I don't know.
To this being easy. I don't know exactly what creators owe an audience, but I know the answer isn't nothing. That's a shitty attitude to have, I think. I owe plenty to my audience. I owe you honesty. If I'm going to ask you to listen to what I say each week, the very least I can do to earn that privilege is to mean what I say. I owe you integrity. While nobody can be perfect, I owe it to people who have invested a little bit of their emotions in me over time to respect that.
I trust the integrity of people most when they've never said the word integrity. People who just, like, drunkenly stumble into, like, take after take after take, who live unapologetically, I trust them way more than people who spend a third of their lifespan constantly reflecting on their growth.
That and honor that. I'm not always a good person. Nobody's always a good person. But I think it's fair to say that I damn well ought to try. We all ought to try. And when I fail, and I sometimes will because I'm human, that means I have to make amends. I have to admit fault and face the consequences of my actions.
And this is for saying the word lunacy, by the way. This is because ThoughtSlime used the term lunacy. That's what this is. Does anyone know which video this is? ThoughtSlime posts fairly regularly, which is uncommon for the video essayist breadtubers. Is it Let's Talk About Last Week? I think it is. I think it is, because they're wearing the same shirt. I think it is this, yeah. Hold on.
Maligned truth speakers being punished for having an open... My emergency bunker real quick?
Please shut up. I think it's this one. It's the same.
To learn was actually directly related to bipolar disorder in a derogatory way, which I knew, Oak, you loser, and that read's name was Albert Einstein. Last week I fucked up. I uploaded a...
What did Shu say? That ThoughtSlime is like Blue's Clues for leftists? That was really good.
Mean-spirited video with some pretty ableist language and overtones. Among other things, I referred to the conspiracy theories of a man who was diagnosed with bipolar disorders using the words nanners and lunacy. Lunacy,
Nanners.
I came to learn, was actually directly related to bipolar disorder in a derogatory way, which I didn't know. But I knew better than to use that word. And I did it anyway. A few people took issue with it and they let me know.
This is a 21-minute video because they use lunacy and nanners. You guys, you want to know another thing that I really respect about ContraPoints? Okay? When ContraPoints had her cancellation video and went over cringe shit that she had done in the past, 98% of it was dedicated to analysis and 2% of it was dedicated to apology. When Contra went over like some of the weirder like tweets or like twitlongers that she did, like it was not like this giant performative apology. It was just like, all right, well, here's why it was cringe, and like, yep, okay, well, you know. I think one of the things that really really sells me on the sincerity of an apology is when the person making the apology kind of admits that they might do it again. I know that sounds really stupid, but like, especially for minor stuff like this, like saying nanners, you know, like I feel like it's okay to apologize or whatever, but you know, it's like, oh, I'll try better in the future, you know, like kind of like a nonchalant, because I don't know, man. If ThoughtSlime was directly in front of me and apologizing to me for 21 minutes because they had said that like I was acting like a lunatic while buying like my third plate of poutine the previous night, like I would be incredibly uncomfortable, you know? If I was offended at that and ThoughtSlime was just like, oh, I'm sorry about that, you know, I'll try not to in the future. Like that would be so much more impactful than like ThoughtSlime setting down the plate and the glass, looking at me and going, listen, sometimes people make mistakes. You guys know what I mean, right? Like there's an authenticity there that rings so much less hollow. I don't know. That's because the apology is for them, not you, silly. Yeah, I know. I'm aware. Yeah, it's for them. Yeah, I don't know. It's just, I feel like stuff like this is red flags. Maybe the better we get at recognizing behavior like this, the less we can fall into these patterns over and over, where it turns out like all these weirdo bread tubers are actually like sick fucks with no moral behavior. I don't know.
That what I had done was hurtful and beneath me. And I did what YouTubers are supposed to do in that situation. I followed protocol.
Oh, here we go.
I got really defensive,
Here's the
like
clip.
a baby that adult, and faced the consequences of my actions. And it's easy, really easy, too easy, to just not do that. Once I was done being awful last week, I felt awful. Appropriately, I might add. It should feel awful to be hurtful. That's healthy. That's good. As good as it might be for me, though, I don't like that feeling. And the temptation is always there in the back of my head. I don't have to apologize. I can just pretend this didn't happen. I can pretend I don't.
You've peeked this video before they subtextualize you in this video. I've looked at this video before? Oh, damn, wait, I think I remember this. Oh my god, I have! Oh, from way back in the day. Cognitive decline arc. Well, it's been a long time since then. I don't remember enough of this video. Wait, what was my opinion of this video back then? Was I pointing out that this was highly performative, or
criticism? The edgy
who want to be able to say awful shit without fear of criticism. Okay, all right.
Edgy class reductionists.
What? Okay, the edgy class reductionists. Okay.
The wannabe dirtbag leftists. The
wannabe dirtbag leftists. Okay, okay.
Ones who use slurs ironically.
The ones who use slurs ironically. I think I was just responding to the implication that I was being thrown in here. Because at the end of this video, ThoughtSlime is like, I'm a good boy who apologizes, not like the bad people like Vaush, except they don't say my name.
Agree. I can act like I'm being picked on unfairly, and the thousands of people who...
Oh, wait, hold on.
There in the back of my head. I don't have to apologize. I can just pretend this didn't happen. I can pretend I don't agree. I can act like I'm being picked on unfairly. And the thousands of people who follow me, in a social media sense, not in like a cult sense.
Oh my god. It's like God is speaking to us through this video. Holy shit.
Would back me up. When people criticize me, I'm the powerful party in that exchange.
Oh my god.
It takes guts for people to criticize me. I'm extremely proud of developing a community of people willing to call me on my shit. That tells me,
oh my
if
god,
nothing else, I'm doing a pretty good job of setting expectations. Want to know the weird part, though? People started immediately heaping me with embarrassing praise for doing what I considered to be the bare minimum. People started telling me, wow, what integrity you have, how brave of you, for doing what boiled down to me saying,
I wonder why. I wonder what you're doing to encourage that behavior.
oops, I gained Patreon donors from this, and it occurred to me, nothing bad is going to happen to me. I fucked up, I hurt people, I dehumanized people, and all I did was say I was sorry,
Said
and everyone was
manners.
like, oh, we're good. It actually made people respect me more for apologizing. But that's not the narrative we're told, is it? It's supposed to go like, person does something not woke enough, and then the cannibalistic left descends upon them, and now nothing they can do will appease the bloodthirsty woke scolds. And here I was, on the other side. Now these people were
What does nanners even mean? Like bananas. Like a British thing.
descending on me. I'd been microaggressing all over town, and the SJWs were going to kick me out of their safe spaces for sure. Is this the end of ThoughtSlime?
Oh my god.
And no. Everybody was like, nah, it's cool. Don't do that again, though. Now, mind you, I'm white. I look male. I'm not
Oh
disabled.
my
There are certainly
god.
people whose disposability can be disguised as some boutique social justice cause. When a trans woman makes a little comic about shoplifting art supplies, everyone must take a moral stand against this type of lawlessness. And then they'll tune in later to watch Better Call Saul to watch the crime lawyer do crimes for money. People get harassed for transgressing, that's obvious. People get treated badly, sometimes far too badly, when they do something people don't like. Obviously. I am less disposable than many of my contemporaries. But this myth of the unpleasable wokelets, angry mobs who can't be pleased no matter how hard you try, they just want to play the oppression Olympics, and any apology will just be taken as an admission of guilt and considered
I'm glad we're rewatching this video. Feels very pertinent.
dishonest anyway, so why bother? All of the complaints about the alleged frailty of the Tumblrite left, the cancel-thirsty brigades of radlibs, the wokelets lying in wait for you to mess up so they can destroy you. None of that. Anywhere to be found. By this point, I was feeling pretty shitty, so...
Do you get the vibe that Mildred's only media consumption is CalArts children's cartoons? Oh my god, yes. Oh my god. Never before have the vibes of a person who has only ever watched Steven Universe been more evident. It's incredible how little else there is in terms of aesthetic or media inspiration. Oh my god. I can't wait. We need to like emerge into the post CalArts Steven Universe Western like cartoon canon, okay? Where people like this are getting criticized, all right? Steven Universe is better than this? Well, yeah, better than this because this is like a weird, rambly narcissist's apology. But, you know, there are some parallels here. I feel like the ultimate issue with Steven Universe is that the whole show was made in the pursuit of good boy points in a spiritual sense. Okay, Steven wants the good boy points. Everyone wants the good boy points. Intergalactic fascist tyrants, we can't kill them. That's not how you get the good boy points, okay? Every once in a while, all right? You got to put your foot down and you got to say, "Hey, I'm going to murder you." White Diamond. God, the show would have been so much better. Oh my god. Can you imagine if the final arc of Steven Universe was just like White Diamond like lost and they were like, "Well, how do we rehabilitate her?" They're like, well, she's really dangerous. She could just, like, at any time, like, just break free and, like, do all this over again. They're like, yeah, we have to kill her. Really? Yeah, we have to kill her. And they kill her. Oh my god, that'd be good. Yeah, public execution on live TV for the entire galaxy. Oh my god. That'd be good. I like that. Aang did the same shit as Steven. No, the issue is with Aang in The Last Airbender, at the very least, he took away Ozai's power, right? Ozai didn't really have any statecraft like abilities. Ozai was strong because Ozai was strong. Without power, like, he could just stay in a prison cell and rot for the rest of his life. But White Diamond is still White Diamond. All the diamonds are. Like, so it feels like it really feels like they're just kind of banking on them all just being like very good ladies and just like not being mean anymore, you know? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, and then they turn nice at the end.
I curled up in bed with a book, played some Animal Crossing, made a stir fry, and left social media for the day to pity myself. Good news though, because the second I came back to social media, that guilt and self-pity disappeared, and in its place was rage. Oh, okay, that's not good. I have to go to my emergency bunker real quick.
Really is
Just hold
Blue's
on.
Clues, huh? Oh my god. This is where they shout out smaller creators. But none of these people are me because I'm huge, so.
At the altar of liberal
just got a
identity
letter.
politics. Some of them went so far as I didn't realize the toll it was taking on me, how alienating and isolating it was. I told myself it was because I was just afraid of conflict, and that's a convenient narrative for someone like me, because it lets me frame myself as the bad party.
Oh my god.
I'm just too much of a coward to speak up, I thought. I was afraid of reprisal. I was afraid of being ostracized. And that was part of it, for sure. But I realized there was a bit more to it than that. We on the left tend to place a premium on avoiding sectarianism or factionalism. It makes sense why. Traditionally,
Well, I sure as shit don't anymore.
this type of behavior has led to a lot of problems for organizers. It kept us from uniting on one unified front to achieve our shared ambitions.
This guy's tone is so
But that
similar to
unwillingness to be
Yandere
sectarian can
Dev.
be
Oh
exploited as
no!
well. You know as well as I do that radical spaces attract tankies, or nosbols, or eco-fash, and all sorts of other bad actors that try to weasel their way into our spaces. Those are very overt examples of how our uneasiness with sectarianism can be exploited. Those guys are obviously, unambiguously harmful, and their inclusion
Imagine somebody punching you in the face for no reason and giving you this apology. This hurts worse than the punch, man.
in our movement is obviously incongruous with our values. Most reasonable people can agree with that. But it by no means has to be that extreme. You can use it to dodge responsibility for or criticism of your personal actions by positioning them as an attack on a faction or tendency, real or imagined.
How do you feel about
Likewise,
this apology?
you can attribute criticism to some other group acting needlessly sectarian. That shifts the discussion from talking about the thing you're being criticized for to talking about an us versus them team sport. Oh, no, no, no. The people who are criticizing me just hate anarchists. They just hate BreadTube. They just hate dirtbags. Look, pal, if you're offended by me making a racist joke on stream, which I should point out, I only did ironically, so there's not even a good reason to be mad, then you need to move past this woke scold versus dirtbag mentality. We can't fight each other. That's just what capital wants. Hey, when I said we need to cleanse the streets of degenerates, I thought that was an okay thing to say. If you expect me to apologize for doing something I didn't even know was wrong at the time, that's gatekeeping. And on some level, I think this rhetoric got to me. They bamboozled me. I certainly didn't want to be a gatekeeper. I didn't want to be sectarian. I didn't want to make people feel like they had to be perfect and know everything before they were allowed to just, like, be around. So a lot of times I stayed quiet when I shouldn't have.
Trump, baby.
I stepped back when I saw people say or do things that I knew were wrong because I was afraid that if I spoke up, if I criticized them, I'd be contributing to a culture on the left of
Okay. Sorry, we kind of lost track of time here. Listen, the point that I'm getting at, okay, is don't fall for the soft... Can't say soft boy. Soft envy? The soft shit, okay? You gotta watch out for that stuff, okay? There's a really bad tendency on the left, and this is definitely something particular to the left, to weaponize vulnerability, like personal vulnerability, not some perceived group vulnerability, like how racists will do with, like, white genocide or whatever, but, like, individual, personal vulnerability in order to get away with being really weird and abusive to others, you know? In a way, it's kind of like a virtue signal, where there will be people for whom being more susceptible to emotional harm is actually like a kind of a token of pride, in a way, where not being as susceptible is considered a sign of callousness or a lack of empathy, which I don't think is true, but, you know, there's nothing wrong with being a more sensitive person, but you have to remember, and this is critical, okay? Being more sensitive never makes you more right than the less sensitive people, okay? If two people have an argument and one walks away crying and the other person walks away, like, stone-faced, that does not mean the stone-faced one was the asshole, okay? You can't tell. You can't know. All you know is one person walked away crying and the other person didn't, okay? How many times have, like, abusive moms cried after, like, their trans kid said, like, yeah, no, I'm a girl? Like, you can't just look at who walks away from this more upset and use that as like the only determinant of who's correct. And I see this all the time, you know. I see this with myself because you know, I'm perceived as a very stoic person, which I'm not, of course. It's just that sadness and hurt aren't the emotions I feel. It's, you know, bloodlust and you know, victory enthusiasm. I see this with Xanderhal as well. Oh, hello, Artemy. Where, you know, we'll get in these arguments where like the other people are being like really like fucked up, you know, but they're the sensitive ones and we're not. So like, whatever, optics game lost, I guess. Just we all know this, don't we? Like, okay, don't we all know like there are girls that do this, you know? Right? You know what I mean? There are girls who will weaponize them crying. You know, not just girls. Like guys can do this too or whatever, like non-binary, I don't care, but like we probably all know at least one girl who will be a piece of shit but then cry to like get out of it. Like that shit, because people tend to, you know, they tend to be very sympathetic towards crying women. So like it's, you know, some of them, the shittier ones, will use that to get away with shit. You know, we know this happens. So I'm just asking you to be a little bit more skeptical, okay? That's what I'm saying. Yeah, white women will do this sometimes. They'll weaponize their whiteness and their femininity sometimes to inflict like sort of racism against like usually black men. Like we saw that in Central Park last year. But it's a fairly common thing where, you know, it'll just be like, listen, okay, black men got lynched over this. I'm not going to make light of it. Look, the point is, be skeptical.